Heartland has never been a show about shocking twists or loud surprises. It has always been about quiet moments that linger, emotions that sit heavy in the chest, and love that refuses to disappear, even when life does everything it can to tear it apart. That is exactly why Ty Borden's return in Heartland Season 20, Episode 1 doesn't feel like a gimmick. It feels like something the story has been slowly, painfully preparing us for all along. From the very first scene, there is a sense that the past is no longer staying quietly behind the characters. Something unresolved is pressing forward, asking to be seen, felt, and finally acknowledged. For years, Heartland asked its audience to grieve alongside Amy, Lyndy, and the entire Fleming Bartlett family. Ty wasn't just written out of the story. His absence became part of the emotional landscape of the show. Every quiet glance, every pause in conversation, every moment of strength Amy forced herself to find carried the weight of a love that never truly ended. Season 20, Episode 1 respects that history. It does not rush into Ty's return or treat it like a fantasy. Instead, it builds atmosphere through familiarity. The ranch looks the same, yet it feels different. Life continues, but something essential still feels missing. Amy moves through her day with confidence, earned through survival, not ease. She is capable, grounded, and resilient, yet there is a guarded distance in her expression that tells us her heart never fully reopened. Lyndy senses change before anyone explains it, asking small questions that feel far bigger than her age. Jack watches everything quietly, carrying the understanding of a man who has lived long enough to know that life rarely gives clean endings. These details matter because they remind us that Ty's return is not about undoing loss. It is about confronting what that loss shaped them into. When the episode begins dropping subtle reminders of Ty's presence through locations, routines, and memories, it doesn't feel manipulative. It feels honest. Heartland understands that grief does not disappear with time. It settles in and becomes part of who you are. That is why the moment Ty finally appears does not arrive with dramatic music or spectacle. It arrives softly, almost cautiously, mirroring the emotional state of the people whose lives he once anchored. This return does not erase the years Amy spent holding herself together for Lyndy. It does not erase the silence at the dinner table, or the weight Jack carried watching his family mourn. Instead, it acknowledges that love can exist alongside pain, and that sometimes healing begins not with answers, but with presence. Ty Borden's return feels earned because Heartland never stopped letting his absence matter. By honoring the grief first, the show makes the possibility of hope feel real again. Amy's reaction to seeing Ty again is not framed as a romantic reunion, and that choice is what makes it devastatingly real. There is no immediate embrace, no sweeping declaration, only a stunned stillness where years of buried emotion rush to the surface all at once. Amy has learned how to live without Ty, not because she wanted to, but because survival demanded it. She became strong in ways she never asked for, carrying grief quietly while raising Lyndy, protecting the ranch, and holding her family together. When Ty stands in front of her, that carefully built armor cracks, revealing love, anger, fear, and disbelief all colliding in the same breath. This moment works because Heartland allows silence to speak. Amy's hesitation tells us everything. She is not choosing between past and present. She is facing both simultaneously. Ty does not rush her, and that restraint matters. He arrives humbled, aware that returning does not grant him instant forgiveness or restored place. His presence forces every character to confront what they lost and what they might still reclaim. Lyndy becomes the emotional bridge in a way only Heartland could pull off. She does not carry the same grief as the adults, but she carries something just as powerful, an instinctive sense of connection. Her quiet curiosity and openness strip the moment of bitterness. Through Lyndy, the story reframes Ty's return from unfinished pain to fragile possibility. She represents the future that was interrupted, now cautiously restarting. Jack's response grounds the episode in wisdom rather than spectacle. He understands that demanding explanations rarely heals wounds. His calm acceptance does not dismiss the pain Ty's absence caused, but it prioritizes compassion over resentment. In Jack's eyes, belonging is not erased by time. Lou's reaction balances that compassion with realism. Her guarded concern reflects a sister who watched Amy break and rebuilt herself piece by piece. Lou's fear is not anger, it is protection, and her slow softening mirrors the audience's own conflicted hope. Tim's humor masks relief he cannot easily name, while Georgie's quiet maturity shows how loss can shape empathy rather than bitterness. Together, these reactions form a family portrait that feels honest and earned. The episode's final moments do not promise certainty or perfect outcomes. Instead, they offer something far more meaningful: the courage to sit at the same table again, to share space, and to let healing begin without forcing it. Heartland Season 20, Episode 1 succeeds because it refuses easy answers. Ty's return is not a reset, it is an invitation to confront grief, to risk hope, and to believe that love, when treated with patience and truth, can survive even the longest absence. It asks the audience to feel rather than judge, to remember why this family mattered, and to trust that storytelling rooted in patience can still surprise, still hurt, and still heal, even after years of waiting. That faith is what keeps Heartland alive, long after episodes end and screens fade away slowly.